For decades, they tried to erase these women from reggae history. This is the untold story of the 25 most dangerous women in reggae. The teenage girl who started a global revolution. The singer who vanished after one mysterious hit. You have to see number one to believe the legacy they tried to bury. Millie Small was only 17 when her voice, bright, playful, and irresistible, soared across oceans with My Boy Lollipop. It was a song that seemed almost innocent in tone, yet beneath it carried the revolutionary force of introducing ska and Jamaican rhythms to the world. That teenage girl with a high ponytail and mischievous smile cracked open doors that had once been bolted shut, proving that the island sound could dominate international charts. Without Millie, the global appetite for reggae might have taken decades longer to emerge. As the energy of ska matured into rocksteady, Phyllis Dillon rose, carrying an unmatched aura of grace. Dubbed the Queen of Rocksteady, her voice floated over melodies like a silk scarf in the breeze. Songs such as Don't Stay Away and Love Was All I Had became hymns of longing, romance, and vulnerability. She represented a softer but no less powerful side of the movement, proving that women could embody both strength and tenderness in equal measure. Her artistry became a template, one that countless lovers rock singers later followed. Phyllis did not need to roar. Her whispers carried storms. Yet others, like Sister Nancy, arrived not to whisper but to break walls. In the early 1980s, when dancehall was still considered an arena owned by men, she grabbed the microphone and declared her sovereignty. Bam Bam erupted like a chant, refusing to fade, and went on to become one of the most sampled reggae anthems of all time. Nancy's command was so sharp that her voice still resurfaces in modern tracks, sampled and remixed, breathing fire into new generations of sound. Where others sang of tenderness, she spat defiance, and in doing so, she opened space for women to wield lyrical power in a culture that had long tried to silence them. The lineage of defiance did not end with her. Lady Saw, who would later be known as Minister Marion Hall, carried the crown of Queen of Dancehall with fearless audacity. Her intimacy liberated lyrics, unapologetic stage presence, and raw honesty scandalized some and empowered many. She refused to conform to any expectations of how a woman should sing, speak, or carry herself. For decades, she dominated the stage, crafting bangers that made dancehall throb with energy, until her personal rebirth drew her into gospel. But even in that transformation, the legacy of Lady Saw remained an unshakable testament that reggae's women could be bold, unflinching, and transformative forces. Between the softness of lovers' rock and the fire of dancehall, Judy Mowatt carved a third path, beginning with the Gaylettes before becoming one of the I3s alongside Marcia Griffiths and Rita Marley. Judy's voice was soaked in spirituality. Her album Black Woman was more than music. It was scripture for female empowerment in reggae. She sang of pride, dignity, and the sacredness of womanhood. Her artistry carried the weight of prophecy, standing as one of the first albums by a Jamaican woman to so boldly proclaim the sacred strength of being female in a patriarchal world. Later in life, her devotion shifted into gospel, but her earlier hymns of empowerment continued to ignite listeners like torches passed down. And standing beside her, Marcia Griffiths, the radiant queen whose career outstretched decades, embodied resilience itself. From her early days with Bob Andy and the duo Bob and Marcia, to her anchoring role in the I3's backing Bob Marley, and her irresistible solo hits such as Dreamland and Electric Boogie, which sparked the global electric slide dance craze, Griffiths proved her voice was a fountain that never dried. She did not merely accompany the reggae kings. She matched them stride for stride, her melodies rising above the thundering drums and bass lines like a lighthouse beam over a restless sea. Marcia Griffiths remains a living monument to reggae's endurance. Rita Marley, born Alfreda Anderson, stood not only as Bob Marley's wife, but as his creative partner and later as the custodian of his legacy. Through the I3, she added her voice to immortal tracks, but her individuality shone in songs like One Draw, which dared to be playful, rebellious, and deeply rooted in cultural affirmation. After Bob's passing, Rita's power did not fade. Through the Rita Marley Foundation, she channeled her influence into humanitarian efforts, ensuring that her name would forever be linked not only to music, but to compassion, empowerment, and African unity. Her story is that of a woman who refused to let widowhood silence her, instead rising into her own light. In the United Kingdom, as reggae migrated and intertwined with Caribbean diasporic life, Cynthia Schloss emerged with a tenderness that earned her the title Songbird of the Caribbean. Her ballads, Surround Me With Love, and As If I Didn't Know, bathed listeners in delicate emotion, carving out a space for lovers' rock to thrive. J.C. Lodge carried that same flame, transforming the transatlantic soundscape with Someone Loves You Honey and the groundbreaking Telephone Love, which cracked into U.S. urban radio and proved reggae could weave seamlessly into the airwaves of global pop culture. Their voices were intimate, magnetic, and unstoppable, building bridges between Jamaica, Britain, and beyond. Janet Kay, with her unforgettable hit Silly Games, perfected the art of lovers' rock with a soaring, crystalline voice that melted barriers. Dubbed the Queen of Lovers' Rock, she held an entire movement in her vocal cords, her high register lingering in the listener's chest long after the record spun out. Judy Boucher, hailing from St. Vincent but immortalized in Britain with Can't Be With You Tonight, added yet another layer to this romantic current, crafting songs that still soundtrack late-night slow dances across generations. Together, these women ensure that reggae was not only rebellion and defiance, but also the language of intimacy and love. Yet reggae's women were never confined to love alone. Tanya Stephens proved this with her fearless mix of social commentary and irresistible rhythms. It's a Pity became a global anthem of longing and conflict, while her album Gangsta Blues unspooled sharp critiques of society, relationships, and power. Her pen was as sharp as any politician's speech, her rhythms disarming enough to draw on those who might have otherwise turned away from hard truths. In Tanya's voice, the dance hall became a pulpit, a battlefield, and a confessional booth all at once. Lady G, another titan of the dance hall scene, wielded her commanding flow to demand enough respect, standing as a role model for female DJs across the Caribbean. Sylvia Tella, born in England to Nigerian parents, injected her powerful presence into reggae with hits like Spell and In a Special Way, bringing Afro-Caribbean roots into sharp fusion. These women joined their voices to the choir of resilience, each proving that no single culture or space could contain reggae's feminine energy. Nadine Sutherland's journey began under the eye of Bob Marley himself, when she was signed to his label at the tender age of 11. Her later rise with hits like Action, alongside Terror Fabulous, carved her into dancehall history, proving that childhood promise could blossom into womanly dominance. Her longevity is itself a statement, a reminder that reggae could grow alongside its artists rather than abandon them to obscurity. Lorna Bennett, on the other hand, stunned the 1970s with her sultry version of Breakfast in Bed, a song that turned bedrooms into stages and stages into bedrooms, solidifying her as a pillar of lovers' rock. Pam Hall's smooth versatility allowed her to weave seamlessly between backing vocals for reggae giants and solo lovers' rock triumphs. Hortense Ellis, the younger sister of rocksteady legend Alton Ellis, refused to live in anyone's shadow, claiming her own space with Woman of the Ghetto and Unexpected Places. Her voice, rich, commanding, soulful, gave reggae one of its most versatile female interpreters. Nora Dean added playfulness to the tapestry with her cheeky, flirtatious delivery on Barbed Wire and Night Food reggae, proving that humor and sensuality could dance side by side in early reggae. Others like Don Penn, whose You Don't Love Me became an anthem spanning decades, and Audrey Hall, whose One Dance Won't Do etched itself into UK reggae memory, carried the banner continuity, reminding the world that reggae women were never fleeting stars, but enduring constellations. Carlene Davis, after battling personal health struggles, transformed her career into gospel reggae, her voice swelling with new spiritual vigor and ensuring her influence stretched across both secular and sacred stages. Myrna Hague, often hailed as Jamaica's first lady of jazz, floated effortlessly between reggae and jazz, a cultural chameleon who lent sophistication and class to every stage she graced. Jennifer Lara's Consider Me cemented her as a beloved Studio One voice, her legacy lasting long after her passing in 2005. Cynthia Schloss, who tragically died in the arms of her husband in 1999, left behind a legacy so tender it still hangs in the air of Jamaican nights. Angela Prince, Sharon Little, Della Humphrey, Claudette McLean, Althea, and Donna, Lady Patra. Each name carries with a story of defiance, artistry, and courage. Althea and Donna's Uptown Top ranking remains immortal, an anthem of youthful audacity that climbed charts in Britain, while Lady Patra fused dancehall with pop and hip-hop, cementing herself as one of reggae's boldest crossover queens. And so, through every name and every song, from Millie Small's teenage blast to Lady Saw's unapologetic reign, from Phyllis Dillon's velvet voice to Sister Nancy's battlefield chants, the map of reggae would be incomplete without these women. They were singers, songwriters, DJs, innovators, prophets, rebels, lovers, and healers. They were not simply ornaments to the genre. They were the genre itself, in flesh and in sound. Without them, reggae would not have been the same. It might not even have been at all. Which of these women changed reggae's story most for you? Which forgotten name deserves to stand beside the greats in every conversation about the genre? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's honor their legacy together. And if you want more hidden histories and powerful untold stories, then subscribe right now so you never miss the next revelation.